So this is a pretty interesting Google Doc add-on. It's called Sentiment Analysis, and it analyzes the sentiments of your paragraphs or your whole document in a Google Doc. Before publishing an article or sending an email, you can now analyze the sentiments of your writing. So I thought this was really interesting. As far as the application for my students with learning disabilities or, I don't know, maybe a student with autism to give them greater insight into the tone of their writing, maybe more that interpersonal thing. But anyway, I wanted to show you quickly what that's all about. I'm going to move my screen up a little bit, maybe like that. Go over to my document. So here's the document that I had a little bit ago, but I added an additional poem. So there's two poems on here, one at the top and one at the bottom, and it's in a little bit different font so you can tell. So if I want to analyze the sentiment of both these two poems, I'll show you how we can do it, because they both have very different feelings associated with them. So I'm going to go to add-ons, and again, if you don't have sentiment analysis, again, you would go to get add-ons, put sentiment analysis into the search box and install it. But I already have it, so I'm going to go to sentiment analysis, analyze the sentiment. It's going to open up, move this over here. It's going to open up the sidebar, and now I can do selected paragraphs or I can do the entire document. Because I want to show the difference between the two poems, I'm just going to do selected paragraphs. So the first poem I'm going to analyze, highlight it, and start the analysis. And it does come out 50% positive. And if you're familiar with this poem, it has a lot of hope in it. It's about, getting older but still striving and wanting to do more. And it really does have overall like a kind of a overcoming the obstacles, a more positive tone. So I Googled, I don't normally, look at sad poetry, so I had to kind of go and Google one. So I saw this one, and it's called The Familiar Stranger, and it definitely has a different tone. It's more about, I guess, passing like an ex, someone you were involved with on the street, and basically, them, blowing you off. So the tone is much more different. So let me go back to add-ons, sentiment analysis. And we're going to do the selected paragraphs, and you'll see it's still quite negative. So it is fairly accurate when I was looking through and trying to find some examples. And then I'm not really sure about the detailed report or the export to sheets. I haven't done a whole lot of that. So positive and negative. Oh, okay, so it'll give you definite examples of the wording in there that lends itself to a more positive or negative tone. So that's good for, again, giving some students that might not have the insight, giving them a little bit greater insight. So anyway, interesting add-on. That is sentiment analysis.